Hi there, these comments are for SK. This is Michael from BetterTOEFLScores.com. Let's take a look at your email that you sent me. You say, Dear Michael, I've been a regular viewer of your evaluation of the many TOEFL samples in your YouTube channel, the 7-step system to pass a TOEFL IBT. I really learned from your videos, and now I'm taking the TOEFL test this Thursday. So good luck to you. So I'm asking you for evaluation of my independent writing and speaking sample. Hoping to listen to your feedback on your YouTube channel. It would be great if you could suggest some improvements that I can make to score at least 23 on both the writing and the speaking sections. Fair enough. And the first thing I did is I'm looking at your writing sample here. So I want to talk about this first. So after reading it, there's a few things just from the start that I think you want to do better on. You have 369 total words. I recommend you add another 100 on that. And notice how each of your body paragraphs here, this one is 140. The second body paragraph is 119. Try to keep both of these body paragraphs. If you choose to use only 2 reasons, try to spend about 200 words within each of these body paragraphs developing each reason. That's going to show more depth and complexity of thought. So that way you're going to get another 100 words or so on this. So the other thing is, the good news is I went ahead and reviewed your word choice and grammar, and look at your grade level. It's pretty close to college level. You're 12.1. You have very strong vocabulary. You have a lot of longer college level words in there. Use things like technologies or generation or convenient. You're using not just short 1 or 2 syllable words. So your characters per word is 5.1. That's strong. Your average number of words per sentence is 23. You could probably do a little bit better there. So be careful about using, for example, something like, of course, everyone is different. You can use short sentences, but don't use too many of those. Okay, so I think that is something that you can work on there. And my first impression after reading it, I'm thinking in the 3 area here. Let's see what you can do better on. Addresses a topic using somewhat developed explanations, examples, and or details. Somewhat means you could develop those more. So I think that's actually true. Let me show you where you can improve there. Notice how in the second paragraph you talk about people can enjoy smooth transportation and communication facilities. Expansion and road work meant that we no longer had to walk by foot to reach certain destinations like our parents used to. I would probably focus on that a little bit more before moving to the communication thing. Maybe spend 3 or 4 more lines on that idea. And if you want, instead of talking about transportation and communication within the same paragraph, maybe limit it to only transportation. Now we have subways, we have bus, then we have upgraded or updated freeways that we can use. You could spend a good solid paragraph just talking about how the improved transportation systems have made our lives much easier compared to the past, and just focus on that one idea there. Okay, let's go back to let's look at the rubric. So that's one area. You could probably develop that paragraph a little bit more by limiting your focus. So the next one displays unity, progression, coherence, though connection of ideas may be occasionally obscured. I think you probably improve in that area. It says here, there is a significant reform in economic activities over the last decades. But how does that relate to making our lives better now than they were in the past? So if you change the topic sentence a little bit, you want to connect it better to the writing prompt. You might say, compared to the past, people living in the present have had a significant reform in and I think you want to say here, in economic farming activities maybe. That might be better to put this as part of that topic sentence to make the connection a little bit more clear. So think about that. So the next one may demonstrate inconsistent facility and sentence formation and word choice. Um, I'll just show you one example here. Notice here you say there is a significant reform in economic activities over the last decades, but you're talking about something in the past that continues up into the moment of present. I think the present perfect tense, not the simple past, is going to work better. So you change it to say there has been. How about significant reforms in economic, maybe farming, or even better, agricultural activities over the last decades, and that would be a little bit better there. What else here? May display accurate but limited range of syntactic structures and vocabulary. I don't think this is a major problem, but these first three areas you can probably improve on to get that higher score. It's still a pretty good essay, right? I'm thinking you're probably pretty close to 23. I'm going to say maybe 21 to 22 points out of 30 on that practice test. That's my estimation based on the rubrics that ETS uses for that. All right, does that make sense? And maybe one last thing. I think the thesis, I think you have a little too much going on here in this thesis. So the advancements of technology, I would probably focus around two key points: the advancement of technology and then the developments in economic farming activities have made our lives much easier compared to those living in the past. You could probably just incorporate those 2 points and then keep each paragraph limited to those areas. All right, so I'm going to say 21 to 22 points out of 30 on this based on my comments there. Okay, so the next thing, you want me to take a look at your speaking, right? Okay, let's do that. So I have the speaking rubrics here, and then this is your response right here. So let's listen to it one time, and I'll give you comments the second time I listen to it.
Personally, I will prefer reading book than watching movies or television in my spare time. This is because firstly, I find reading very relaxing and enjoying. There is a peace of mind that I gain from reading books. For example, I recently read a self-help book on how to better improve myself. This book provided me with a lot of knowledge and I find it very relaxing to read.
That's a
It
good
makes me
example. That was good.
more calm and collected. Secondly, for watching movies or television, I need to be in a certain room which has televisions or which have certain infrastructures. But for reading, it is possible anywhere. I can go to the park and read there. Similarly, I can also move to other place.
Okay. All right, let's take a look at the rubrics here. Let's see what we got. I think the biggest issue here that's going to really throw you to lower your score is delivery. So you have two says speech is basically intelligible. The listener effort is needed because of unclear articulation, awkward tone, or choppy rhythm or pace. I think the rhythm or pace is not choppy, but you're not varying your tone very much. So I think that's a pretty big problem. The question is, are you in the two or the three there? Um, I'm going to put you in the three area. I'm going to say minor difficulties with pronunciation, tone, or pacing. The next one, language use, you have fairly automatic and effective use of grammar, vocabulary, fairly coherent expression of relevant ideas. Um, I think you're probably in the mid three on that. And then let's take a look at topic development, mostly coherent, sustained. I think you might be closer to the four when it comes to topic development. you elaborated on your ideas. So Let me listen to it one more time and then I'll give you some. I'm thinking you're probably between 22 and 24 points on this practice test. I think what's mainly holding you back is your delivery and specifically your intonation. You need to vary your tone. There's a few things you can do to help you with the intonation. Is you to, in order to have good tone, you have to stress the primary syllable in the words that you're speaking, those multisyllabic words. And within that primary syllable, you need to make that syllable clearer, louder, longer, and most importantly, higher pitch. Once you get that pitch in there, that's going to have a big difference on your tone. You're not really doing that. So that's going to be difficult. Another thing that can help you with your tone is your sentence stress or sentence rhythm. So you want to put more emphasis on nouns, adjectives, adverbs, and verbs, and then put less emphasis on those function words, things like determiners, auxiliary verbs, and prepositions. You want to make sure you're not stressing those too much. And it's that unstress and stress kind of contrast that create a nice rhythm to your ideas. And that also helps you with your tone. So I'm thinking 22 to 23 points. Let's listen to it one more time.
Personally, I will prefer
So I think personally you don't need that. It's a unneeded word, doesn't do anything.
reading book than watching movies or
So I prefer reading books. You want to put the plural s ending on that.
television in my spare time. This is because firstly, I find reading very relaxing and enjoying. There is a
I find it very relaxing and enjoyable. You're using relaxing. I find it relaxing and enjoyable. You need to use adjectives there.
peace of mind that I gain from reading books. For example, I recently read a self-help book on how to better improve myself. This book provided me with a lot of knowledge and I find it very relaxing to read. It makes me more calm and collected. Second,
Wait a minute. Let me go back.
provided me with a lot of knowledge and I find it very relaxing to read. It makes me more
I would say because or in as much as it makes me more. So you have those two short, choppy sentences there. I think that's going to hurt your language use a little bit. Be careful about using too many of those shorter sentences.
calm and collected. Secondly, watching movies or television, I need to be in a certain room which has televisions or which have certain infrastructures. But for
You can put watching TV as less convenient because I have to be in a specific location to enjoy the activity.
reading, it is possible anywhere. I can go to the park and read there.
You can say there, how about this? Let's connect the two sentences together. Unlike reading or unlike reading activities, I can read a book anywhere I want. So you kind of cohesively tie those ideas together a little bit
Similarly,
better.
I can also move to other place.
Okay, I'm gonna take this down a notch. So after listening to it the second time, I think there's more issues. I'm gonna put you at 20 points out of 30 on this practice test. So I think to get better, you need to improve your language use. You're going to need to use some longer sentences in there. Maybe use some more subordinating conjunction type of connecting words. I think that would help. You definitely need to speak more clearly. That's a pretty big problem as I listen to it. So be careful about those things. So I'm going to put you at 20 points out of 30 on this practice test. All right. And anyway, thank you for completing the speaking and the writing. I hope that this feedback kind of gets you going in the right direction. And remember that I have a speaking and writing feedback service. You can learn more about this by going to bettertoeflscores.com. And once you go there, you can click on the tab where it says speaking and writing feedback. And I know you're taking the TOEFL next Thursday, so remember these points, these suggestions I'm giving you, and try to use these things as you complete the test so you can get a higher score. And if you don't reach your goal, right, come back. Send me an email. Let me know.